So looking at my post-test data, and I'm looking at the TEAC 10A for English 1, and after reteaching the lesson, I noticed that all the scores went up. I went from 30% exceeding to 55%, and 15% at meets, 10% at approaches, and 20% as falls far below. Which I took it as a win because of the increase, and then I can just move on to RTI for those who are still struggling with it and do small group instruction. But what I learned from that was by doing more visual aids and doing more guided practice with them allowed for more students to understand, because I think the first time I taught it around, I was giving them a little too much of, hey, figure it out, like, hey, go and do this on your own. And the second time around, I went ahead and broke it down. I spent a lot more time on guided practice so that I made sure before they went on their own, they understood what we were trying to look for and understood really how to identify and analyze those relevant resources within writings. And so that allowed a lot of my students to get the material on a level that they can meet and exceed expectations. And now for the kids who are approaches and falls far below, there's only 6 of them, so what I'm going to do is do small group instruction next week, and we're going to pull them out and we can look at exactly what didn't work the first time, the second time, and hopefully the third time's the magic number, and I can get them in a place of understanding. And what that's showing me is, in general, I need to make sure I'm focusing a lot on my guided practice as well as my content input, because having those different ways of learning, because I had visual aids, I did verbal cues, I did tactile where they were working with it, and once I implemented all those, a lot more kids started learning. So I wasn't differentiating enough the first go around. Once I differentiated more kids got it. I'm hoping that after I differentiate even more on the third go around with small group, all of my kids are going to meet and exceed. The goal is for all of them to be exceeding, and I think I can reach that on that last go around of RTI. So that is the big impact I got from my instructional decision. And going forward, I'm definitely going to look more at making sure I differentiate as much as possible the first time so my kids get it the first go around.